Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Tuesday, the 7th of November. Well, an absolute garbage day on Monday. £20 staked, I think 25 pence bike. Absolute rubbish. There were some that weren't too far away from the places, but all in all, absolutely dreadful. So let me get into it. So I'm staking a tenner for Tuesday. I'm having 4 selections at Lingfield and 4 selections at Warwick. I've gone for some extra place races, and I've also gone for some regular normal place races. It might be worth, for those of you that might use a different company, to wait till I think sometimes after 8 or 9 o'clock with other companies, and you will get best odds guaranteed anyway. But I've gone with Sky Bet, and I've taken all the prices just so you can see roughly what price they are. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, and £1 each way accumulator. The first selection is Equami at 5 to 1 in the 11:37 at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. It's got an inside draw, and I think some of the fancied horses are drawn a bit wider. I do believe there could be quite a decent amount of pace on, and I do believe it could fall into Equami's hands with it being well drawn. Second selection is Tarab at 14 to 1 in the 12 minutes past 1 race at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. Ran probably its best 2 races on the all-weather. It's ran really well at Chelmsford. It's now got to translate that form to Lingfield, and I think it's got a chance of a minimum of a place. Excuse me. 14 to 1's a bit too big. To be fair, it's a competitive race. Third selection is Looking Brew at 6 to 1 in the 1:47 at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. Ralph Beckett knows this horse inside out and the family, because he's also trained the full sister to this horse, who was decent over a mile, then excelled when it was stepped up to 1 mile 2, 1 mile 4. So this is basically what's happening with this horse. It ran over 1 mile generally in its early races. It built up to a mile, and then all of a sudden it's gone from, I think its last race was 1 mile 2, 1 mile 2 and a half. All of a sudden it's been jumped up to 1 mile 5. It's got an inside berth. I think it needs to improve a little bit, but not really improve to get a place. But we want more than a place. And a lot of the fancied horses are once again drawn wide. So I think this horse is drawn 1. So basically it needs to be sat in about 4th or 5th place, hugging the rail, and then see what it's got later on. And the fourth selection is Dashing Dick at 17 to 2 in the 2:22 at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. Everything I looked at was either prominent or led. There must have been 5 front runners in this race. Well, Dashing Dick, occasionally it can lead, but we don't want it to lead on this occasion. We want Kieran Schumart to use his head and realise there's going to be a lot of pace on. This horse has been campaigning over 6 furlongs, so you might think for a horse that runs over 6 furlong, that sometimes makes all over 6 furlong, up to 7 furlong, it's not really the right tactical race for it, because with a lot of front runners in there. But last year it was regularly running over a mile, and occasionally it was even, also it was held up. It actually ran mid-division and won a race from mid-division over a mile. So for me, it doesn't have to be prominent. This horse doesn't. I think if this horse can benefit from its, I can't remember what it's drawn now. I think it might be drawn 4 or 6. If you can let the leaders go and absolutely blast off, and they get it wrong, hopefully this horse can mop it up. And 17 to 2, we're not going to be retiring, but it's a nice price. Hopefully it should be definitely running on towards the finish. If it goes and tries to lead, I don't think it's got any chance whatsoever, but I don't think they will go down that route. So the next lucky 15 is a 10 pence each way lucky 15 and £1 each way accumulator. The first selection is CJB at 28 to 1 in the 12 minutes past 12 race at Warwick. This was one for newcomers. A lot of them have run on the flat before, but anything can actually happen. This horse did absolutely nothing in its first few runs, and then it had a wind operation, and then I think it ran an okay race, and then it ran a much better race. And I know there isn't much form on show, but it's got just about the best hurdles form. And bearing in mind, it's shocking hurdles form, but it's got just about the best. Well, it's improved with pretty much every run since its wind operation. And I think, given a normal state of affairs, if it improves again, and Gavin Sheehan is interested on this horse again, I think it could sneak place. And don't get me wrong, the first and second favourites could be absolutely different league, but there's nothing saying they're going to be. Anything can happen. I think the second favourite was also either wind up. It was Gelder before its first run, then it won its first run, and then it's been wind operation since. So so the second favourite could be vulnerable. But yeah, I think reputation alone, the fancied horses are probably going to be well above this horse, but they don't always things don't always work out how I think they're going to be. So I think 28-1 with a horse with a bit of experience. It's got a bit of a sneak. Second selection is Roxtown Native at 17-2 in the 12:45 at Warwick. Once again, doubts over the. Sorry, I'll tell you what I've done. I've actually got the races wrong way around. There's nothing wrong. The analysis of the first race is actually about the second race. So Roxtown Native at 17-2. The favourite is Nicky Henderson. Could be very good. The second favourite is a horse I was talking about with a wind operation, so it could be vulnerable. This horse, it's got some form on show over the course, over slightly further. It ran an okay race, nothing more than that. And if it runs that kind of race again, it should get a place. Hopefully, we want it to get a win, but it should get a place. Third selection is Gerard Mentor at 7-1 in a 2:30 at Warwick, paying 6 places instead of 4. This horse should benefit from a recent run. It should be up there from the start. I think, from memory, I think it leads, so it could make them all go. And finally is Master Malcolm at 8-1 in the 3:05 at Warwick, paying 4 places instead of 3. This is it Emma Jane Bishop, I think? There were patches when last season when this horse was pretty good for this grade. It made all in quite a few occasions, and it's got quite a bit of experience over fences, and I think hopefully it should use that experience once again and hopefully make them all go. So those are the selections for Tuesday. So give me a like or a subscribe, even during these tough times of giving you no winners whatsoever. I'd really appreciate it. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.